Hello, everyone. Here we are again. It's one of the 3 days of the week. We are on the second day. We every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We have become accustomed to talking to our filmmakers who are in the official selection of SRFF 2025. Today, we have two films represented. Maybe more people will join us eventually. Filmmakers get dragged here, there, everywhere. They have to be in 10,000 places at the same time, even though they confirm, and then last minute something might come up and they cannot make it. But if they do, we will let them in eventually. In the meantime, there is a welcome note for you, whoever is watching. Welcome to our Meet the Filmmakers session. This is the 9th out of 10, but it's the last one on YouTube and Facebook, because on the next one, which is on Saturday, we migrate to Zoom, although that also will end up on our YouTube channel. And that one will be a webinar with all the women filmmakers of SRFF 2025. So that's the first major event, public event that kicks off the festival every year, the women's webinar. Then on the 11th, which is exactly next Tuesday, it's even under a week now, we open the festival at the sumptuous National Arts Club rooms, beautiful setting. And we welcome the filmmakers who are coming to us from 20 different countries this year. Not all 20 will be able to make it, but we'll have a good handful for you. And red carpet, photo session, and so on, everything that a festival deserves. We are, by the way, a boutique festival. Everything is handpicked, everything is selected with a lot of heart, a lot of dedication, as much as the filmmakers themselves put into it. Every single one of the films we bring you have a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of dedication that has gone into them. And that's what we like about our filmmakers. Then the 12th and 13th, we go uptown for our Rejoice, Resist BIPOC Films session, where we present BIPOC films and BIPOC filmmakers. We have a panel. We discuss the challenges of telling BIPOC stories. And also we, after that, on the 12th and the 13th, we come back downtown to go to Cinema Village, our favorite spot, our house cinema. And 14, 15, 16, we have films, narratives, documentaries back to back with 2 sessions of selection of short films under the titles of Art and Enlightening Women, or Empowering Women, we should say more, and one of Armenian films, a collection, which has a very interesting documentary about women in Armenian cinema. So these are the offerings this year. Then we have the spotlight screening on Sunday, which I have to say, without false modesty, that I personally am starring in. It's called Labyrinth. It's a film that I've done a while back, but it depicts a very interesting period in the changeover during Soviet times. So you can come and enjoy that. That is on Sunday. And then at the end of the screenings on Sunday, the 16th, we have our awards ceremony. And that takes place not very far from the cinema, a couple of blocks away. And we go and give out the awards. The international jury unveils the winners. We also have a very special award, an honor award for cinematic achievement that we are giving out this year. This year's winner, or awardee, we should say, it's not a competition. This year's awardee is none other than Karen Karagülyan, who plays a wonderful Toros, and he did deserve to be nominated as a supporting actor, from Anora, the film that swept the Oscars and ran away with 5 statues. So here we are. Without further ado, I have 2 more filmmakers who have just joined me belatedly. I will bring them on. And I will ask the filmmakers to do just like I have done, with a little dash and put the title of your film so that we don't have to repeat it each time you're speaking. And the audience knows when you are on what film you are talking about. So there we go. We will bring everyone on and we'll take a quick round where everyone will introduce themselves. Tell us in one line, very, very shortly. Don't go into it deeply at this point. Just tell us what your film is, what it is about, and then let the next one speak. We come back to you, and at that point, you'll be able to talk a little bit more in detail. So as I have Tracy next to me on my screen, so maybe we'll start with her.
Hi, I'm Tracy Cring, the editor of A Culinary Uprising, the story of Bloodroot.
Yes. Then Raffaello.
Hi, I'm Raffaello. My film is To Love a Narcissist, which is about the interplay in a couple's relationship, whether it's traits or actually narcissistic personality disorder within modern culture.
Right. And then I have Thunder Rain.
Yeah, that's actually, this should not be my name. My real name is Hossein Fazeli. Hello from Vancouver, a sunny Vancouver. Mm-hmm. I am the writer, director, producer of a documentary film. It's actually a docudrama about an indigenous First Nation in BC, British Columbia, called I Am Gisxtan. So yeah.
Okay. And we have Joze Piranian from Words Left Unspoken.
Hello. I'll just start by mentioning I have a stutter. Everyone's internet is working just fine. I'm the subject of the documentary film Words Left Unspoken.
Great. So, Joze, I don't know, you have backlighting, so I'm feeling like your face is very much in the dark. So maybe can you turn around or I don't know.
Sure, yes.
Because you see, we try to bring everybody in quite early so that we take care of this backstage work before we hit the audience. But the audience is no stranger to us. It's like family, so we can wash our laundry in public. So here we go. Okay, so my first question, and you don't have to go again in the same way and round. You can jump in, whoever wants to, is, how did you get the idea of this film? And tell us something about from when you got the idea, you wanted to make this film, from idea to bringing it to the screen. How did all this happen? All this magic, how did it happen? Who wants to go first?
I can go.
Yeah, perfect.
Being the editor, I am not the director. Annie Laurie Madonis is, and I'm very familiar with how this all happened. She was taken to the feminist vegan restaurant Bloodroot, which is in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Her friend took her, and she met Selma and Noel, the women who run the place, and they're such amazing, unique women. And then they were hanging out with a friend who had actually done some research on them as being a very historic feminist restaurant because they were opened in the 1977. And the woman turned to Annie Laurie and said, well, if you're so interested in them, why don't you make a documentary? And Annie Laurie was like, well, there's already been a documentary. And the woman said, yeah, but yours will be different. So that's when she decided to start hanging out there. And the women started to trust her and brought her in. And this is also during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. She started filming, and it has gone for 4 years of filming.
That's great. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really amazing because it's a film that when I saw it, I felt, wow, we need this film in here. Each and every one of yours films, by the way. And I keep harping on that and saying, without filmmakers, we don't have a film festival. And it's true. It's the biggest truism. So you're telling me that it was all by accident. A lot of these films happened by accident, right? So she was eating at the restaurant and then she decided, oh, this would make a nice documentary.
Yes. I mean, the women, they come over, they talk to you, they have amazing points of view and ideas. So you really get sucked into their world.
And do you can you tell us how long it took from idea to actually finishing it and coming up with it?
Yeah, she started filming in 2020 and still did a few little interviews in 2024 as we were editing. And I came on in 2023. And she actually had an editor. And she still took my call. And after we spoke for about an hour, she said, well, I'm going to have to fire this other editor because I think you're my girl.
Yeah, I think a lot of the relationships when making films have also to do with the personal relationship and the synergies that are created between writer, director, filmmaker, and the editor. And, it all has to fit in together. So who wants to share their secrets with us next? Maybe Raffaello.
Yeah, mine is basically my fascination with it's a psychological love story, as you probably know by now, and it's the second one I've made. The first one was Transference, and I think it's my sort of fascination with how relationships can fall apart because of subconscious triggers that one or both of the parties may or may not be aware of. And I was keen to do that in a cinematic sort of in a cinematic way, not a sort of documentary style way, although I'm highly influenced by documentaries in the way that I like the actors to perform. And so I unravel my scripts over a period of a year. I come up with an idea, and then I'll write a scene, and I'll get a team in, Lindsay, the lead actress, James, the DP, and a sound guy, and I'll shoot one scene. And once I put it together, I can understand if it's going to work within the full context of a feature film. And that's how I start my process. Excuse me. Timing of a buzzer on the door.
That's okay. We'll mute you for a second just so we can go to someone else. And Hossein.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't misspell your last name.
No, it was perfect. I mean, you pronounced my name like family members.
For a while now, so I better get your names right. That's why
Sure.
when we are at the beginning of the festival, I always advise the filmmakers to, when you're corresponding with us, to definitely put the title of your film somewhere in the correspondence, if not in the subject.
Right.
We don't know the people behind it as of yet. But at this stage, I know everyone. I know who's who. I can recite your emails backward. So,
it's also because you're a great actor.
Well, maybe. You have
memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us
your
about your
film.
It's very particular.
Thank you. I'm a child of I'm Iranian Canadian. I'm a child of the Iranian Revolution of 1979, and so I was a kid at the time. So my it kind of informed that event, informed my cinema. I'm very much into social justice and social issues, and I've been making both fictional films and documentary films. But this particular documentary, I Am Gisxtan, is about an indigenous nation in BC and the effects of colonialism on their lives when the first settlers came to their territories 150 years ago. And of course, colonialism is not just a Canada-specific issue. It's a global issue, and because I had an experience of it myself coming from West Asia, it kind of, felt real to me. And I didn't really take the project to them. The chiefs came and brought the project to me. I didn't think I was qualified at the beginning, but then I did my research trip. I went to the territories. I found wonderful characters and a compelling story. And so I decided to make the film, and 2 years on, we're here.
Yeah, that is a very interesting way you're putting it, because you said I'm not qualified for it. And I wanted to make a point on that, especially when you're dealing with other cultures, especially when you're dealing with indigenous cultures or cultures that are not your own. There is always this controversy that people talk about cultural appropriation. And they go, well, who are you? Why, who are you to talk about us? What do you know about us that you are... It's not that. First of all, it's about expression. Whether it's artistic expression or whether it's documentary expression, and it's a point of view. And if you are outsider of a culture, sometimes you observe and see things a lot better, a lot more in a global context, overall point of view, rather than being inside. When you are inside, sometimes you don't see further than the tip of your nose.
Exactly. It's so important what you're saying, Nora. I mean, if I want to send a cameraman to Iran to film for me, I wouldn't choose an Iranian cameraman.
Yeah.
I'll choose an American cameraman. I'll choose an Armenian cameraman. I'll choose a British camera or an Indian camera, because then they will see things that an Iranian cameraman cannot see, because, he or she is just too close to that reality. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's very important. And I was very closely connected to a production that Robert Lepage, since you're Canadian, we're talking about a Canadian director, did a beautiful production at Théâtre du Soleil called Canada, which was about indigenous Indians in Canada, and the whole story, and how indigenous women are being murdered and so on. It was a beautiful production, but there was so much controversy about it from the indigenous population, saying, well, he didn't use indigenous actors. He didn't this. And excuse me, the Théâtre du Soleil is an entity with its own actors, and they don't go out each time and look for actors according to the production they are doing. Their strength is in the fact that their actors play all these different roles. And the most important thing when you're approaching a project like that, when you're approaching any project, even if it's a narrative feature and you're telling a story, is the respect.
That's right, that you give.
Respect that you give towards whatever it is you're filming, whether it's your actor, if it's a narrative, whether it's your subject, if it's a documentary, and how that respect manifests itself on the screen. And it shows. It definitely shows. So in terms of that, I would say to people who argue that, but it's cultural appropriation, it's not if the person is not going out there and saying, this is my culture.
That's right.
Nobody's appropriating anything. It's a point of view.
Yeah, this is 2025. And I mean, as artists, we're citizens of the world.
Exactly.
We have opinions about everything that is happening in the world.
Absolutely. And what is art without a point of view, without, something that you might have to say about whatever it is that you're trying to say. So anyway, I don't want to make it my own show, but okay.
Thank you.
Raffaello, tell us about the respect you have for your actors. Or not, maybe. You have maybe ways of getting things out of them a different way.
I think you're mute, Raphael.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because earlier there was a doorbell.
Amazon. I think I think it's very difficult to get good work if you don't respect each other from any point of view. I think that for me, the part of my story, the part of my work is to make sure that everybody feels valued and not in an environment where they're being told what to do. It's just an environment where we're in a creative process together to explore what really the characters are all about and what the scene's all about, almost feeling together, and I have to guide that. You know, I think my job is to make sure I create the right environment for the actors to really grab hold of these characters and stop acting them, but immerse themselves within that world. So I think it's important to realize that as the word director sometimes is misleading, because some people might take that upon themselves to think I have to be the authority here, in a negative sense of the word, rather than I have to sort of be in charge of creating a good team.
Yeah.
And respecting everybody. And then I think that's the core of a good environment to create interesting.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting you're saying that, Raphael. In my opinion, the less you direct, the better you direct.
Yeah, and the paradox of that in a way is that is good direction, because what you're doing is inviting the right people into your room. If you really don't get on with them on a personality basis and you think that's going to be difficult, then I cut the head off before it gets.
Absolutely. It's very, very important, because respect breeds trust.
Right.
And you cannot go anywhere without trust.
That's right.
It has to be genuine, though.
Absolutely.
I've been around too many environments where...
No, we're not talking about Hollywood here.
Well, I've been around too many environments, if I may say so, where it's a fake respect, a fake trust. And actors, the good actors, they pick up on that immediately, because we're so tuned into our intuition.
Right.
Absolutely.
You will understand if someone's being genuine or not. And if they're not being genuine, it's very hard for you to be genuine.
Well, if they're not being genuine in front of you in real life, how are they going to be genuine in front of the camera?
Right.
The character.
And the camera picks up everything.
No, that's right. You cannot lie. You cannot lie to a camera.
Breathing, it picks up. So we have Joze with us back. We're so happy that you are here. He is not the filmmaker, but every now and then we host somebody who's related, like in Tracy's case, she's the editor. And in Jose's case, he's neither the editor nor the cameraman. He is the subject of this documentary. And we'll let him say something about it.
Thank you. Over 7 years ago, I met a filmmaker called Josiane Blanc. She was intrigued by the fact that I had a stutter and was about to compete at a public speaking competition in Toronto. So she said that she would like to make a short film about my journey to the stage. After winning the competition, she told me, well, I can't exactly stop filming now. I have to see where your journey goes. And as the scope of my journey evolved, so did the scope of her film in terms of the funding that she received from different broadcasters. And eventually it turned into a feature film called Words Left Unspoken, which is ultimately about this journey I've embarked on, going from avoiding speaking to performing stand-up comedy around the world. And it's also about having difficult conversations with my loved ones.
Yes, the film is amazing because it not only shows your own journey as somebody who never spoke or decided not to speak because they couldn't get the words out, to somebody who goes and becomes a keynote speaker in major events and does stand-up comedy and all that. And I'm like, excuse me. Oh, we all have fears. We all have fears, and you have confronted the fear. There is a saying in Armenian when they get married. This is a very macho society, mind you, the example I'm going to give. They say on the wedding night, the groom has to take a cat and tear the cat into half. You know,
we have the same in Persian.
You do, because then the wife is like, oh my God, he can do that to the cat. I'd better behave, you know. So so this is like to show that you can confront the fear. So in your case, it's not the wife or the husband or anything like that. You took your fear, which is the cat, and you tore it into half, and you said, I am confronting my fear. And I think there is a huge lesson here for anybody. And maybe somebody, you don't have a stutter or any type of other thing that holds you back. You might be a filmmaker that is trying to make a movie, but is, what if it's not good? What are they people going to say? What if I don't get to finish it? What if? And these paralyze you.
No, of course.
Absolutely. And to clarify, no cats were harmed in the making of Words Left Unspoken.
Joseph, where are you located?
I am based in Toronto.
Ah, nice. You're a Canadian, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm Lebanese, Armenian, Canadian.
Ah, interesting. All right.
That's a very good question that you raised, Hossein, because I was going to ask next, where is everybody joining in from?
Right.
And Joze is in Canada, and you are in Canada as well, but where? Vancouver, the other end. Okay.
Right. Yes. The end of the West.
And both of your films are part of the Voices of Canada series, which we have been doing for a few years now.
Nice.
And we are supported by the Consulate General of Canada. At some point, Telefilm Canada was in it as well, but then I don't know what happened to them. They
money
from the I guess like everything artistic and cultural, cut. Okay.
First thing, yeah.
So, Raffaello, where are you now? In London?
I'm in London.
You're in London, but you're going to be in Hong Kong next week.
No, New York.
Oh, you won't? But I thought you said you will not be able to join the women webinar.
Oh, I think you're talking about Sadie Kay. She's one of the producers on the film. So
yes.
She lives in Hong Kong.
Right.
So we might have to clarify that.
The webinar is for everyone.
Yeah. So she can join in if she stays in Hong Kong. I'm not sure what she's doing. I'm definitely coming to the festival.
Yes.
I have family there, and I have the composer who I've never met, and we've spoken, and he lives in Brooklyn, both composers of both films. So I'm looking forward to meeting them at the screening night.
That is so wonderful. That's another thing that we pride ourselves with this festival, is to become a bridge between people and establish collaborations. I personally have benefited, I don't get paid. I do this all volunteer work, and also the whole team is volunteered, and we should really give them a big hand, because without a team, what can I do? This is not a one-woman show. I mean, as an actor, I have benefited. I've co-starred in a short, and I've done 2 feature films in the last 2 years. Nice. With a film director that we had programmed 2 years ago, Rax Rinikangas from Finland. When I saw his film, I go, oh my God, I want to be in this film, but this film is finished already. I can't be in it. But the fate had it that when you have a very strong desire for something, it happens. So just go out there, desire, and go for it, everyone. So, and Tracy, where are you right now?
I am in Tuxedo Park. I live here in New York. That's north of New York City, what most people would call upstate, but it's technically, I don't believe this is upstate. Our director is in Massachusetts, and our team is comprised of so many women and a few men all over the country.
Yeah. See, this is the power of remote work. That's what COVID taught us. That's the one good thing that came out of it. Somebody is saluting us, says, hey, Di Carlos Martins. Okay, great. We like to acknowledge audience members. Sometimes we have many people join in as when we go live, and sometimes we don't have that many, but then many people come back and watch the tapes once they are on our YouTube channel. And we love taking questions. If there are people out there who want to ask us questions, you put them on the comment section. This is a good moment also for me to scroll the festival website, because we've been talking about these wonderful films with these incredible filmmakers and the subject of one of them. And people will say, yeah, but where can I see these films? Well, here is the website. You can come here and see it. We also have specials. Unfortunately, the early bird $5 tickets, which would have been the price of your latte, and an expensive, rather expensive, now even the regular cafes charge $5. Unfortunately, that's sold out. We also had a trio where you could purchase 3 tickets for the price of $12. That's $4 a ticket. Oh my God. And that's sold out as well. But we have still some advantages. We have the Trio Elite and so on. And we have a special Armenian pack. And I'm mentioning that because Joze, the film that Joze is in, Words Left Unspoken, is not an Armenian film. It's a Canadian film. But since the subject is an Armenian, and there's also a lot of Armenian family stuff that goes on, we allowed it in that pack. So the Armenian pack gets you not only the Armenian shorts, the film that I'm in, thank you very much, which is Labyrinth, and also Jose's film that is a total of 5 films for $25. Come on, guys. Nowadays in cinemas, you can't even get 1 film for that price. So these are the banners, and we'll go back and discuss some more with these wonderful filmmakers. Maybe somebody wants to share with us a funny story or something that they want to say that happened during the filming, or where a moment, a tipping moment when they decided, okay, no, you know what, I'm giving this up. I'm going to go to medical school. I'm going to become a brain surgeon because it's easier. So tell us about that moment.
Well, I always would love to. I've reached a stage in my life where I'm not sure I can, as everyone says, can do anything else. But I've certainly enjoyed being able to tell stories through a lens rather than just being an actor now. That's certainly the journey I've taken. I think, and it's so nice. I actually got to the point in my life where I enjoy more the process of making it than actually the completion of it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. In filmmaking, especially, and there is a strong parallel there with the festival, because there is so much ungrateful, elbow grease type of work that needs to be done in the background before you even are under the spotlight, or even people see the first frame of what it is that you're making. That if you don't enjoy that process, if there isn't a burning desire for you to get up in the morning and tell this story, that you can very easily give up very, very quickly. And it's the same with the film festival, 12 years going now, touch wood. And we have screened 750 films from 40 countries and 750 wonderful filmmakers that I have met in my life, which I am so happy about. And it has been an incredible learning experience, because I've learned about topics and people and situations and stories that I had no idea about. And now I am an encyclopedia of these works, So it's been such a rewarding journey. Otherwise, I couldn't stay up until 5 a.m. and so on. So, but people, I want to definitely make the festival website scroll again. And I will urge everybody who's watching and whoever is on the screen to go back and check it, because as of the early hours of this morning, our platform is live. And when you click on it, all the posters of the films that are in the selection come on, and it is such joy to see them all in one page. So, and yeah, who wants to share their journey?
I can share.
Yep.
So the filmmaker Josiane knew that she wanted to film both in North America and in the Middle East, and she had started to make plans to go to Lebanon with her crew in the fall of 2019, or possibly over the holidays. And at that time, there were street protests happening in Beirut. And so she said, maybe we should wait until 2020 when things will be much easier. Naturally, the next year arrives. It becomes almost illegal to travel, which led to a bit of delay with the film. And so at that time, the future of the film was quite uncertain. So when about 7 or so years later, the movie was complete, the filmmaker, the producers, and myself were all in a state of disbelief.
Yeah. Which is interesting. There's something to be learned there. Don't wait, just go.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And also with documentary filmmaking, you never know what is in store for you.
Exactly. And you're never ready anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it might, I don't know, I always call God is believer, not believer, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the providence or whatever it is, brings something even more interesting in front of you rather than what you in your finite brain had decided.
That's right.
And it's just what we shouldn't wait. Life is too short, in other words.
Yeah.
I have something to say that goes along with that, because the women in our documentary were 79 and 89 years old. Wow. And I have done, this is not my first octogenarian documentary edit. There's always a pressure, because older people get sick and you're kind of worried, are we going to be able to finish this film so that they can be there at the premiere? And one of the women, Selma Miriam, she actually passed away 1 month ago from today. And we had the premiere in November for her and the community there at Bloodroot in Connecticut. And it was just an amazing coincidence that everybody, basically hundreds of her friends and people who love her, got to be there and experience that with her. And it was so special because she got very ill right after that. And the fact that this film, Annie really pushed it through, from 2020 to 2024. And she was still well enough, to really be represented well and also be herself. Selma is such a character and such a strong and hilarious woman. And I think, it's very special that we caught that on film when we did. So yes, I agree. Do not wait.
Yeah.
Nora, can I say something? I'm actually taking a look at your page. the website. My poster, my film is not here included. Is it?
Yes, thank you very much, because
Sure.
it was so late.
Oh, really?
Of
Oh.
course, we kept
Huh?
writing to you, urging, threatening, asking,
But-
begging,
but
and it
this is-
never came.
But didn't you get the material
No, I did not.
from Film
There are two
Freeway?
things that need to be done. One is for the cinema to screen it. The other is to upload it on SparkFest.
Are you talking about the actual digital cinema package, or are you talking about the poster of the film and the trailer of the film?
The whole thing, the MOV, the poster, whatever it is, needs for it to be functional on our website.
Or have you received that?
No.
Warren from Procura? None of
No,
them, huh?
I haven't. And it's not about me receiving it. Anyway, we're not going to discuss it here, but you can ask me the questions later. But it was very late. We had all the films except yours. So sorry about that.
So what's going to happen? Is this going to get updated?
Yeah, of course, it gets updated automatically all the time.
All right. All right.
That's what I kept on saying to the filmmakers. Please, 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 please.
All right, I'll check with the team.
Yeah, who wants to jump in? And we have some more minutes, and then we can ask another question. What brought you to the Socially Relevant Film Festival, and what are your expectations by screening at our festival in New York?
May I? I just had a trigger of something there when you said what brought me to the festival. I have to say to you, Nora, congratulations, because I feel that your presentation of the festival is really fantastic. The artwork, I don't know who's designing all your artwork and for the festival, but it's so very good for me anyway. I just love the taste. And I certainly think that was partly one of the reasons when I came across it. I could see the quality of the effort put into your presentation. And the brand of Socially Relevant is really a powerful name. And I just hope it grows and grows for you, because I think it's a really powerful brand to be connected to. And I can tell by all these filmmakers, they come to it with their heart and really fascinating, interesting subjects that I'm hoping to see as many films as I possibly can when I'm visiting as well. So well done to you and all of you, actually.
Thank you very much. I'm going to relay the message to our designer and to our the director of communications, who are the two pillars of the visual aspect of the festival. And I'm sure they will be very happy about this. And yeah, me too. I keep telling them, because we are in a visual media. So it can't be, visually poor or unattractive or whatever, so it needs to be very, very powerful. Thank you for noticing that. And we will get all the films on. Hossein, to answer your question, I just wrote after it was on to all the filmmakers, and I'm sure you're on the list, so check your emails, to say that whatever is missing, you can all go there and fix or add, or one person said, oh, my film is in French and it doesn't say there is a French version. It's all your field. You have the key to it. You can go in and make all the changes you need. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyone else wants to share? I know Joze, he didn't decide to come, or maybe you did decide to come to this festival because you've been here before. Yes, let's talk about that. Joze was here one time a few years ago because we had a documentary which was about a guy that had a stutter. And he came and participated in the Q&A, and people loved talking to him because I cannot believe you do stand-up comedy. I mean, it's like, I always feel like I'm not even funny. I feel like my first line, if I go on in front of the microphone, should be, I am not funny. And then, of course, that's funny when you stand there and say, I'm not funny. But it's an inspiration when I look at you. Because every single day, especially us actors who are very fragile and very lack self-confidence, we come up with 10,000 reasons why I shouldn't do this self-tape, why I will not be picked, why I can't star in this film, why, instead of focusing on the positive side and saying, I am the best person to do this role, you know? And you've taught us all that you have to put it backwards on its head and confront it.
They say if you can't fix it, feature it. So I did attend the socially relevant festival a few years ago. I believe I did a few minutes of stand-up comedy to open the film, and then I was also involved in the Q&A with the filmmaker with whom I am still in touch all these years later.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm excited to be back. When the filmmaker was applying to festivals, I told her, have you looked into the socially relevant film festival? She then looked into it and applied, and I'm very excited to be attending. I have a lot of friends and acquaintances and individuals I've known from various groups and cohorts who will be attending.
That's cool. That's so wonderful. And we are all looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a journey. And all of these films, each one is a journey. From the beginning, from when somebody has the idea, I want to make a film on this topic, and then all the way to coming to the film festival. And a lot of times, since we're talking about film festivals, and it's a piece of advice to filmmakers out there, sometimes filmmakers submit without necessarily looking what the festival is about. A lot of times we get films that are not at all socially relevant. In fact, they are as irrelevant as they can be.
That's another good title for a film festival.
Yeah.
Socially irrelevant. Yeah.
Actually, when I used to say it fast enough, socially relevant, sometimes it became irrelevant. So I now take a breath. Socially relevant film festival. Because then it doesn't become. So they come with films that are lots of violence and animals being, killed and blood flowing and bang, bang and explosions. And I'm like, did you read the guidelines? So that my message to everyone is, please find the festival you are right for, because then it's a delight both ways. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, a lot of times filmmakers write to us and say, can I get a waiver? And I'm like, I wish somebody gave me a waiver to do this film festival. So without the filmmakers, we don't have a film festival, but without the small amounts of fees that we get, we are not subsidized. We do get a bunch of grants. We have supporters, sponsors. That is a moment for me to make a shout out for them as well. Thank you all very much for sponsoring and supporting us. But with a city like New York, where everything is so expensive, you breathe and it's expensive. And we can't do a film festival unless somebody supports it. And who has the strongest vested interest? The filmmaker. So we're in this together. It's a partnership. We have to hold each other's hand and go forward with it. So we still have time. If anybody wants to talk about their future projects, then feel free to share things with us and maybe put it out in the universe, something great might come your way. Or maybe one of the few people who are listening is a billionaire and will make you a check right away.
My God, I love your optimism. It's infectious. I can talk about my next project if you're, willing to listen. I'm actually working on this incredible Indian woman. Her name is Pulan Devi. She's known as the Bandit Queen of India. And nobody knows her story. Very few people, even in India. So she was a low-caste person, low-caste girl in a village. And she had a very strong sense of justice. She had a, so-called big mouth. And so when she saw an injustice, she protested. And the powers to be, in order to silence her, they basically stole their plot of land, and then they had her kidnapped by a gang of high caste bandits who took her to a village, high caste village, and for about 10 days gang raped her. Now, I don't know if you've been to India or not, but when a village girl gets gang raped, she either throws herself into a well or lives a life of quiet desperation. Not Pulan Devi. She runs away, she forms her own gang, and then she hunts down these men who attacked her. And because she has experienced poverty firsthand, she becomes some kind of a Robin Hood in the area, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, dispensing rough justice on men who abuse girls and women. And so she becomes the subject of the largest manhunt in Indian history. I mean, for 4 years, battalions of Indian army and police, they're looking after, they're searching for her. They cannot catch her. People, support her, the locals. Eventually, after 4 or 5 years, she surrenders. She goes to jail on her own terms. In jail, she renounces violence. She becomes a Buddhist. She starts doing yoga and meditation. She comes out of prison, a nonviolent activist. She runs for parliament and gets elected in a landslide twice.
Wow, what a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to India.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
I was in India in December.
Wow, me too.
To the Kerala Film Festival.
Really? I was in Kerala in December as well. Amazing. Okay.
We could have run into each other on the street in Trivanandranampuram.
Maybe we did.
And the film that I am in, Labyrinth, was screened at the Kerala Film Festival.
Nice.
And that was the occasion for which I was there.
Nice.
And I know about Pulan Devi, and I'm one of the few people who knows about her.
Nice.
And by the way, we also have an Indian film in our narrative features section, and it is one of the contenders.
Right.
We're hoping to connect with some Indian people, and maybe on a closing night, you'll have some people there to chat with and share your project.
Good.
That's the idea of the festival, to bring people together.
Yeah.
How many screens do you have in there then, in the cinema, Nora?
One. We take only one screen. The cinema itself has 3 screens, but we only operate one. It's the big screen. And of course, the cinema is operational during the same time, and they bring a lot of Netflix films that have openings there and so on. But during the weekend of the festival, we have sole access to the big screen.
Main screen.
Yeah.
So there's 2 on that last night. I take it I am
Gisxtan, yeah. It took me 6 months to be able to pronounce that.
Really?
Yes.
Can you say it again?
Gisxtan. It means, in their native tongue, it means the people of the river.
Oh, lovely.
Gisxtan. Yeah.
Gisxtan, yeah. But feel free to call it Gisxtan.
Is on Friday.
I think so. The 11th, right?
Oh, beg your pardon. Sorry, I saw that.
No, the 14th. Gisxtan is on 14th.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yes, it is. Voices of Canada is on the 14th, but we also have a couple of films that are from Voices of Canada, namely Vacation Plantation,
right,
and Virgins by Choice. These 2 are also part of Voices of Canada, and they are screened on Saturday. Mm-hmm. But most of the 3 Canadian films, yours, Calmer Waters, which is another amazing Canadian film about this woman who gets into a accident, a diving accident in a pool, and becomes completely paralyzed, paraplegic, but vows that she wants to become a mother. And the film follows that journey. And it screens right after Gisxtan and before Words Left Unspoken.
Oh, wow. Interesting. But I mean, the 14th is the award ceremony, right?
No. You've been not looking at all.
My
Neither
God.
on the emails, nor on our website.
You can tell me I'm still jet lagged.
Look at the website one more time so people know. On the website, there is a menu button. It says SRFF 2025. When you hover on that, drop-down menu opens. There is events, 2025. There is the schedule at a glance. And if you stay on the home page, then the entire platform opens with all the films that are on offer. Yeah. But you cannot purchase your tickets from the platform because the online platform starts on March 17. So to purchase the tickets and see the schedule, there is a different button on top of that section, which is where you need to go. But if you need to see the trailer of the film, read about a particular film, and so on, you go by the poster. And yours will be there when we get everything.
Oh, we're going to do that this morning, actually. I just talked to my
okay,
editor.
Perfect.
Sure.
So there you go. This is how it all works out. And on the 17th, the films that have given us permission, not everyone did, because one or two films wanted to screen exclusively in person. We respect that. Others who said, okay, during the festival week, we can do that, will be available from March 17 onwards to be streamed online. So people who cannot come to New York or are in different countries or wherever, in a different part of the world, can log in and view the films. Then we are slowly emerging, becoming a library. And I will talk to you more about that when it happens, where people can go and really borrow old films from God knows when. After all, we have 750 at our disposal, plus the 45 of this season. So let's see if there are any questions from our audience. I guess not for now. They are shy a bit, but okay. They can also ask their questions later. And if you guys want to go back and answer them, you can. So we have 2 more minutes before we get off the live broadcast. If anybody wants to say anything, share something, tell us what they had for breakfast or where they're gonna go later tonight. So
I haven't had breakfast yet.
Perfect. You're going to
9 o'clock.
It's Ramadan, of course.
No, I mean I don't. My fasting is not religious based. So
it's health based.
It's health based. Yes.
Yeah. It's good to fast every now and then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Essential. If you want to combat disease, fasting is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Anyone else? The last.
I look forward to seeing everyone.
Yeah. The same. Very nice to meet everyone
next week.
Yeah.
Actually, on the 11th, whoever is present at the opening will be invited on stage, and we'll take a good, nice family photo, all of us together with all the filmmakers and the team. I love doing that on opening night because everybody's happy. On closing night, maybe some filmmakers won't be smiling, even though for us, it's like the most difficult part in this selection is what to leave out. How can we leave this one out? How can we leave this one out? They are all amazing films and amazing filmmakers. And we are so respectful and so appreciative of the effort it energy and money it takes to put these together. Nobody is writing checks. The billionaires are writing checks to each other now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are on time. I'm going to get offline, and then we can chat some more if you like.
Thank you very much, Nora. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward. All right. Very nice meeting you guys.
Yes.